So after making this video on some easy, medium, and hard combos for each weapon, I got a few comments asking for a 2-1-1 guide, so let's go over the 2-1-1 so everyone can understand it. 2-1-1 is just a name for a weapon swapping technique that lets you guarantee a blue focus attack on a normal uppercut with certain weapons. The name comes from the original way to perform the tech, which has since undergone changes as the devs tried and inevitably failed to remove it from the game. The original way to 2-1-1 involved swapping to your second weapon and using two inputs of swapping to your first weapon, but this method no longer works. These days, it's common to see advanced combo players using 2-1-1s in their matches with many different weapons for different reasons. So let's see how it's done and talk about why it's useful. 2-1-1 is most effective with staff, nunchucks, and longsword, but can also be utilized on katana, hung sword, or dual-wielded weapons under the right circumstances. Starting with staff, let's look at some combos. With a gold weapon, this basic combo does about 950 damage, but it's also short and low risk. We can get around 1200 damage with a longer, more situational juggle combo like this one, or this one. But with 2-1-1, you can get that same 1200 damage without the situational juggling. To do 2-1-1, you have to first hold the vertical input from the uppercut. Notice how it automatically does an aerial vertical. We have to switch weapons at the earliest possible point before the aerial vertical comes out, and don't stop holding the vertical input from the uppercut. Now for the hard part. After switching to your second weapon, you must input a hold dodge. Switch back to your first weapon and input another hold dodge without releasing the hold you have on vertical input. So it's uppercut and hold vertical, swap, hold dodge, swap, hold dodge, profit. The 2-1-1 combo also gets to benefit from being harder to interrupt for a third party since it's very short and uses blue focus. This tech works by manipulating input buffering with weapon swapping and dodge canceling to let you start charging an attack sooner than you'd be able to under normal circumstances. Here are some common mess ups so you know what it looks like when you make a certain mistake. If you don't hold dodge long enough, if you don't swap fast enough, if you don't hold vertical the whole time because you didn't watch the video. Let's look at a harder 2-1-1 that has a bit more benefit, the nunchucks. The standard nunchucks combo does around 900 damage. But the 2-1-1 combo does over 1200 damage while being faster and requiring less space. The nunchucks 2-1-1 is a bit tricky though, since you can swap weapon much sooner than you might think, making it feel like the timing is much more tight than that of the staff. This 2-1-1 is optimal in many solo situations when using the nunchucks. Now let's see how to use 2-1-1 to extend a combo instead of ending it. With longsword, you can use the normal 2-1-1 method to get a blue attack on an uppercut, but you can already do the same thing with a grapple focus combo and get more damage. However, when using 2-1-1, you don't have to charge the blue attack. You can also use 2-1-1 to input a ground attack while in the air by releasing the vertical hold from the uppercut at the moment that your character begins to charge blue. This lets you extend your normal longsword carousel combo even further, like so. There are some other niche ways with other weapons to extend combos with 2-1-1, but this longsword one is the most commonly known optimal 2-1-1 extension. It is also worth noting that 2-1-1 does not work when swapping to the same weapon. I also want to mention unarmed 2-1-1s, which involves first swapping to unarmed instead of your second weapon, and then swapping to your second weapon afterwards. This lets you go from a weapon that allows 2-1-1 vertical input setup like katana, and get a blue focus attack from a weapon that doesn't allow 2-1-1 vertical input setup like dual halberds. You cannot set up a 2-1-1 with dual weapons. For unarmed 2-1-1s, you'll want to switch your unarmed keybind to something you can press easily without moving your hand or looking at your keyboard. I have mine on 5, but anything that you're comfortable with is better than the default keybind of 0. With katana or hung sword, you technically can 2-1-1, but there's not much reason to do it since you can just do a grapple focus combo for more damage. But there may be situations where terrain could interfere with a grapple focus, but not a 2-1-1. The fan is also technically capable of this, but since fan can charge its vertical input into blue focus, to 2-1-1 with fan you have to release vertical just long enough to do the uppercut, then immediately start holding vertical again and proceed like normal. Again, not much reason to do it with fan, probably just do grapple focus, but it is good to know what's possible. Finally, I want to mention that 2-1-1 is not possible on Fistblades due to the nature of their uppercut, unless you have Sky Punch. With Sky Punch, 2-1-1 becomes possible on Fistblades, but is best used with an unarmed 2-1-1 to swap to a different weapon for the focus attack, since Fistblades Vertical 1.0 will miss an enemy on the ground. It's also possible to 2-1-1 into a horizontal attack by holding the horizontal input instead of vertical. Here are some examples. And once you learn how to 2-1-1, you will likely never forget, so add this skill to your arsenal of potential combos and enjoy a new way to express your creativity in game. If you have any other questions about 2-1-1, feel free to ask in the comments. I hope you enjoyed this video, have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you all in the next one.